You are not a hero, you are a hostage, and the ransom is your own soul, paid in daily installments of your energy, your sanity, and your hope. You think you're a rescuer, a healer, the compassionate soul who sees the broken beauty in another and dedicates themselves to making it whole again. You are the master craftsman, the one who can fix anything. You see the splintered wood, the tarnished silver, the shattered porcelain of a person, and your hands begin to itch with the need to mend, to polish, to glue the pieces back together. This is your gift, you tell yourself. This is your purpose. But this is the great, tragic lie at the heart of your exhaustion. This is the fixer's delusion. You have stumbled upon a unique kind of brokenness. It is not an object waiting for repair. It is a black hole disguised as a wounded bird. It doesn't want to be fixed, it wants to be fed, and its favorite food is your life force. You are pouring your very essence into a vessel with no bottom, celebrating the few drops that cling to the sides as progress, while the vast majority of your effort vanishes into a void you cannot comprehend. You are not building them up, they are hollowing you out. Today, we shatter that delusion. We are going to turn on the harsh, unflattering lights in the workshop of your relationships and expose the truth of the project you've been working on. This isn't about them. This is about you and your liberation. We will dissect the 5 critical signs that you are not saving a victim, but are instead being masterfully drained by a secret manipulator. This is your wake-up call, the moment you stop being the tool and start being the architect of your own life once more. This is the fixer's delusion. 5 signs you're saving a secret manipulator. The first and perhaps most insidious sign is what I call the shifting goalposts of healed. Think of a person trying to climb a mountain. They hire a guide you to help them reach the summit. You are an expert guide. You know the terrain, the weather patterns, the best routes. You provide the ropes, the gear, the encouragement. The journey begins. Every time you conquer a difficult ridge, the climber collapses, sighing, "I can't go on." You rally them. You share your water, your food. You remind them of the beautiful view from the top. They agree, they find a sudden burst of energy, and you press on. But something strange happens. Every time you near what you thought was the summit, you look up and the peak seems further away. It's as if the mountain itself is growing. The final destination, the point of "I'm okay now," is a mirage. The manipulator you're trying to fix is a master of this illusion. They present you with a problem, their anxiety, their financial trouble, their toxic family, their creative block. You, the fixer, see this as a solvable equation. You pour your time, your resources, your emotional labor into it. You find them a therapist, you help them create a budget, you offer them a place to stay, you brainstorm ideas with them until 3 a.m. And for a moment, it works. There's a brief, intoxicating period of relief. They thank you profusely. "I couldn't have done it without you," they say. "I'm finally turning a corner." This is your reward. It's the drug you've been seeking, the validation of your effectiveness. But it never lasts. Within days or perhaps a week, a new crisis emerges. And this new crisis is always slightly more complex, slightly more dramatic than the last. The anxiety they overcame is now crippling depression. The budget you made is useless because of a sudden, unforeseen expense of unbelievable proportions. The family they were setting boundaries with has now staged a massive, soul-crushing intervention. The goalposts have shifted. The summit is now higher. The work you did is nullified, not because it was ineffective, but because the person you are saving has no interest in a life without problems for you to solve. Their identity, and more importantly, their hold on you, is contingent on their brokenness. A healthy, independent person doesn't need a full-time fixer. So to keep you, they must remain broken. They must ensure the game never ends. The consequence of this is a slow, grinding erosion of your own life. While you are mapping their mountain, your own life becomes a flat, barren plain. Your ambitions, your hobbies, your other friendships, they all atrophy from neglect. You're too busy, too drained, too emotionally preoccupied with their latest catastrophe to invest in your own ascent. You are perpetually stuck at their base camp. The brutal truth you must accept is this: you cannot reach a summit that doesn't exist. You are not on a rescue mission, you are on a treadmill they designed. The actionable step here is not to try harder, it is to stop climbing. You must define what fixed looks like for you, not for them, for you. It means you are no longer their 24/7 crisis hotline. It means they're taking concrete, independent steps, steps they find and execute on their own, to manage their own life. You must plant a flag and say, "This is the last peak I will help you climb. From here, you must learn to walk on your own." You will be met with resistance. A new, grander crisis will magically appear on the horizon. A storm will brew, and you must have the strength to stay in your own camp, tend to your own fire, and let them face their own weather. Only then does the delusion begin to crack. This leads us directly to the second sign, the currency of crisis. A secret manipulator does not trade in the currencies of a healthy relationship: mutual respect, shared joy, quiet companionship, reciprocal support. Theirs is a different economy altogether, and the only currency they value is crisis. Your attention, your love, your energy, it is only granted its full value to them when it is offered under duress. Imagine you are a lighthouse keeper. Your job is to keep a powerful light burning, guiding ships safely to harbor. On calm, clear nights, the ships pass by, perhaps with a quick, polite signal of thanks, but they don't need you. They navigate by the stars. Your light is just one of many points of reference. But then there are the storm. When the sky turns black and the waves crash, your light becomes the most important thing in the world. It is the singular point of salvation. The person you are saving is a captain who has learned to love the storms. In fact, they steer their ship directly into them. During periods of peace and stability in your life and theirs, they grow distant. They seem bored, dismissive. Your calm, everyday affection is like a dim light on a clear night, nice but unnecessary. You may feel a sense of unease, a feeling of being taken for granted. You might try to connect with them about good things: a promotion at your work, a funny story, a moment of simple happiness. Their response is lukewarm, distracted. They might even subtly sabotage the peace, picking a fight or creating a small, unnecessary drama. Then the storm hits. They lose their job. They have a massive public blowout with a friend. They get a terrifying health diagnosis that later turns out to be nothing. Suddenly, their ship is being torn apart by the waves, and your lighthouse is the only thing they see. They call you desperate. They need you. And you, the fixer, you rush to the top of your lighthouse and shine your light with all your might. All of your energy, focus, and love is directed at them. And in this moment, you feel profoundly important. You feel needed, you feel alive with purpose. They flood you with gratitude and desperation. The connection feels intense, real, and vital. But you must understand this is an addiction. They are addicted to the intensity of being saved, and you are addicted to the intensity of saving. They are chaos junkies, and you are their enabler. Peace is the enemy because in peacetime they are just another person. In crisis, they are the tragic hero of an epic, and you are their indispensable co-star. The devastating consequence is that your nervous system becomes wired to their chaos. You start to exist in a state of hypervigilance, always waiting for the next emergency broadcast. You can't relax. You can't enjoy your own periods of calm because you're subconsciously anticipating the next storm on their behalf. Your life becomes a series of frantic reactions to their manufactured dramas. They are slowly teaching you that love is anxiety, that connection is panic. To break this cycle, you must change the currency. You have to devalue crisis and radically overvalue peace. The actionable step is to practice what can be called strategic apathy. When the next manufactured crisis hits, and it will, you do not rush to the top of the lighthouse. You do not treat it as a 5-alarm fire. You respond with calm, detached support. You might say, "That sounds really difficult. What is your plan to handle that?" Notice the shift. You are not providing the plan. You are not becoming the plan. You are placing the responsibility and the agency back in their hands. Simultaneously, you must start rewarding stability. When things are calm, that is when you offer your premium attention. You say, "I love how peaceful things have been lately. Let's go do something fun to celebrate." At first, they will hate this. It will feel like a rejection. They will try to escalate the crises to get that old, familiar rush of your focused panic, but you must hold the line. You are retraining them, and more importantly, yourself, that your energy is a reward for stability, not a rescue raft for self-inflicted chaos. You are teaching them that the calm harbor is a far better place to be than the heart of the storm. The third sign is one of the deepest and most psychologically disturbing. It is the mirror of your insecurities. A truly masterful secret manipulator operates on an almost psychic level. They have an uncanny ability to discover your deepest wounds, your most profound insecurities, the parts of your own shadow self you refuse to look at, and they wear those wounds as a costume to gain your trust. The problems they need you to fix are often chillingly perfect reflections of the very things you've been trying to fix in yourself your entire life. Let's say you grew up feeling unheard, that your voice was always silenced by a loud, overbearing family. You carry a deep, unhealed wound related to not being seen or validated. The manipulator you're saving will, coincidentally, present with a major life problem of being silenced and ignored. Their partner doesn't listen to them, their boss steals their ideas, they feel invisible to the world. For you, this is not just a problem to solve, it's a sacred calling. By fighting for them to be heard, you are subconsciously fighting for the part of you that was never heard. You become a ferocious advocate for them because you are trying to retroactively become the advocate you never had. Or perhaps your deepest insecurity is a fear of failure, a feeling that you're an imposter who is one mistake away from being exposed. The manipulator will present as someone paralyzed by a fear of failure, unable to pursue their dreams because they're terrified of not being good enough. Your mission becomes to fill them with confidence, to build them up, to prove to them that they can succeed. In doing so, you are desperately trying to convince the most frightened part of your own soul that success is possible. You are coaching them, but every word of encouragement is a word you're dying to hear yourself. This is where the psychology of Carl Jung becomes so vital. The manipulator is essentially baiting your shadow, the disowned, repressed parts of your own psyche. They learn, either consciously or through a predatory intuition, what you feel most inadequate about. Then they perform that inadequacy for you, creating an irresistible psychic hook. You feel a profound, almost fated connection to them because you think, "This person understands me, they are just like me." The tragic reality is that they don't understand you, they have simply studied you. They have found the blueprint to your compassion and are using it to build your prison. The consequence of this is a profound and dangerous confusion of identities. Your journey of self-healing becomes completely enmeshed with their staged performance of brokenness. You can no longer tell where your issues end and theirs begin. Your entire personal development becomes outsourced to their recovery. If you can fix them, you subconsciously believe, then you will finally be fixed too. But since their brokenness is a performance, a tool to keep you engaged, they will never, ever allow you to fully succeed. To do so would be to lose their power over you. So you remain stuck, forever wrestling with your own shadow in the form of another person. The only way out of this hall of mirrors is to turn the mirror back on yourself. The brutally honest action you must take is to start a rigorous process of self-inquiry, perhaps through journaling for your mental health. You must ask yourself, what specific problem of theirs am I most obsessed with fixing? And where does that exact problem live inside of me? Be mercilessly honest. If you're trying to save them from financial ruin, what is your own deepest fear about money and security? If you're trying to cure their loneliness, how are you running from your own? You must reclaim your personal development. Pull your energy back from their project and reinvest it in your own. Find a therapist, a coach, a mentor, someone to help you work on your fear of being silenced, on your imposter syndrome. As you begin to heal your own wounds directly, you will find your compulsive need to fix them begins to wane. Their performance will no longer resonate with the same desperate frequency inside you. You will begin to see their problems not as a reflection of your soul, but as what they truly are, a carefully selected lure on a hook, and you will finally have the clarity to refuse the bait. This brings us to the fourth sign, a tactical maneuver designed to ensure you never gain this clarity, the isolation doctrine. A manipulator's greatest fear is a second opinion. Their entire construct of control depends on you living inside a curated reality where their narrative is the only truth. To maintain this, they must subtly and systematically sever your connections to anyone who might challenge that narrative. They enact an isolation doctrine, not with overt commands, but with the slow, patient poison of emotional manipulation. It begins subtly. You'll mention a conversation you had with a close friend, a friend who has known you for years. You might say, "I was telling Sarah about how stressed you've been and she was concerned." The manipulator will not get angry. That would be too obvious. Instead, they will get hurt. They'll sigh and say something like, "I can't believe you told her that. I trusted you. Sarah's never liked me. She's always been jealous of our connection." Suddenly, your friend's genuine concern is reframed as an attack. Sarah isn't worried about you. She's trying to sabotage your special relationship. You are made to feel guilty, like you betrayed a sacred confidence. This process repeats. Your brother, who questions why you're lending the money again, is obsessed with money and doesn't understand what real support looks like. Your mother, who notices how tired and drained you look, is being controlling and trying to run your life. Your work colleague who invites you out for drinks is a bad influence who is trying to pull you away from what's important. Each of your relationships is systematically audited, judged, and condemned through the lens of their needs. The people who love you and have your best interests at heart are recast as villains, as toxic, negative, or unsupportive. The only good people are the ones who blindly affirm the manipulator's narrative, or more likely, people you don't have a deep connection with at all. They are creating an echo chamber, and the walls are built with your guilt and your misplaced loyalty. Imagine you are an architect designing a beautiful, soundproof studio for a brilliant but troubled musician. They tell you they need absolute silence to create their masterpiece. So you work tirelessly installing the thickest walls, the most advanced sound-dampening panels. You cut them off from the distracting noises of the outside world, all in service of their art. One day the final panel is in place. The silence is perfect. The musician smiles. And it is only then that you realize they never built a door. You are now trapped inside the silent chamber with them, cut off from every voice but theirs. The consequence of this isolation is the complete loss of perspective. Without the grounding influence of trusted friends and family, you begin to accept their twisted reality as normal. Their constant crises, their emotional demands, their draining presence, it all starts to feel like the price of admission for true love or deep friendship. You lose the baseline of what a healthy, reciprocal relationship feels like. Your world shrinks until it is composed of only one person's needs, one person's dramas, one person's voice. This is the endgame of the isolation doctrine, to make them your entire world so you will do anything to keep that world from collapsing. Breaking free from this prison requires immense courage. The action you must take is to deliberately and systematically violate the quarantine. You must reach out to the very people they have tried to alienate, call that friend, have lunch with that family member. Reconnect with the people who knew you before this dynamic took over your life. When you do this, you must do one thing: just listen. Don't defend the manipulator. Don't explain their latest crisis. Just say, I feel like I've been distant lately. I miss you. Tell me from the outside, how do I seem to you? The feedback you receive will be the antidote to the poison. They will tell you that you seem tired, stressed, unhappy, that you don't laugh as much as you used to. They will hold up a mirror, not the distorted one the manipulator shows you, but a clear, honest one. It will be painful to hear, but it is a necessary pain. It is the sound of the walls of your prison beginning to crack. It is the first breath of fresh air after being locked in a stale, soundproof room. Finally, we arrive at the fifth sign, the final twist of the knife that solidifies the entire toxic dynamic. I call it the gratitude tax. In a healthy relationship, gratitude is a gift. It is a warm, freely given acknowledgement of kindness. It strengthens bonds and fosters goodwill. In the hands of a secret manipulator, gratitude is not a gift, it is a weapon. It is a transaction. Every thank you they offer comes with an unspoken invoice, a future obligation you are now expected to pay. This is the gratitude tax. Here is how it works. You do something significant for them. You stay up all night helping them finish a project. You lend them a substantial amount of money. You let them live with you for months. They respond not with simple thanks, but with an overwhelming, almost theatrical display of gratitude. They tell you that you are their savior, their angel, the only person who has ever truly been there for them. They say things like, I literally owe you my life. I don't know what I would do without you. It feels wonderful. Your fixer's heart soars. You feel seen, appreciated, validated. But this is a trap. This over-the-top gratitude is not meant to close the loop. It's meant to open a new, permanent one. It's designed to indebt you to them. From that moment on, any time you try to pull back, set a boundary, or say no, they will cash in that gratitude. If you say, I can't talk tonight, I'm exhausted, the response will be a wounded, oh, okay, it's just, after everything you've done for me, I thought you were the one person I could count on. If you say, I'm sorry, I can't lend you any more money, they'll say, I understand, I guess I'll just end up on the street. It's just so confusing, you saved me before, I don't understand what's changed. They are weaponizing your own past kindness against you. They create a narrative where your initial act of help was not a one-time gift, but the signing of a lifelong, unbreakable contract of support. Your past generosity becomes the chain that binds you to their future demands. It is a tax you must pay for the privilege of having helped them. Consider the story of a man who rescues someone who has fallen into a deep, dry well. He lowers a rope, pulls them to safety. The rescued person is effusively thankful. You saved my life, they cry. The rescuer feels good and goes on his way. But the next day he finds the rescued person sitting by the well. I'm hungry, they say. Since you got me out, it's only fair that you bring me food. The rescuer, confused, brings them food. The next day it's water. The day after that, they're bored and demand entertainment. Anytime the rescuer hesitates, the person says, but you saved me, you're responsible for me now. Are you just going to let me suffer here after all that? The act of rescue has been twisted into a sentence of servitude. This is the ultimate consequence of the gratitude tax. You become a prisoner of your own compassion. You are trapped in a cycle of giving, not out of love, but out of a fear of being branded a hypocrite, a fraud, or a cruel abandoner. Your energy is no longer a gift, it is an obligation, an endless debt repayment on a loan you never intended to co-sign. To abolish this tax, you must fundamentally redefine your understanding of help. The brutal, liberating truth is this: helping someone once does not obligate you to help them forever. A gift once given is gone. It does not come with a service agreement. The actionable step is to practice what I call the one-and-done boundary. When they try to cash in on past gratitude, you must respond with a calm, firm statement that separates the past from the present. You can say, "I was happy to help you then. That was a gift. Today is a new day and my answer now is no." Or, "My decision to help you in the past does not mean I am required to help you in the same way forever. My capacity and my boundaries are different now." They will react with shock and accusations. They will call you selfish. They will say you've changed, and you must calmly agree with them. Yes, I have changed. I am now prioritizing my own well-being. This is not cruelty. This is the most profound act of self-love. You are reclaiming your kindness as a choice, not a chain. You are serving notice that the gratitude tax office is officially and permanently closed for business. So there they are, the shifting goalposts of healed, the currency of crisis, the mirror of your insecurities, the isolation doctrine, and the gratitude tax. These are not just red flags, they are the 5 iron bars of the cage built by the fixer's delusion. You may have seen your own reflection in the story of the mountain guide, the lighthouse keeper, the art restorer, the architect, or the rescuer at the well. You may feel a cold dread as you recognize these patterns in your own life. Good, let that cold dread be the shock that wakes you up. The delusion is a warm, comfortable blanket, but it is smothering you. The truth is cold and sharp, but it is the only thing that can cut you free. The ultimate journey here is not about escaping them. It is about confronting the fixer within you. Why do you feel that your worth is tied to your ability to mend what is broken in others? What wound in your own past makes you run towards chaos instead of peace? What part of your own shadow self are you avoiding by focusing so intensely on someone else's? This is the real work. The path to freedom is not a path away from the manipulator. It is a path toward yourself. It's time to take all of that incredible, powerful, world-changing energy you've been pouring into their bottomless pit and turn it inward. You are the project. You are the one worthy of rescue. Your life is the masterpiece waiting to be built. Stop trying to fix their life and start the glorious, challenging, and ultimately liberating work of building your own. Set the boundary. Reconnect with your true support system. Journal, meditate, seek therapy. Do whatever it takes to find the root of the compulsion. Heal the part of you that believes it must save everyone else to be worthy of love. Because the truth is, you were worthy all along. Your value is not in what you can do for others. It is in who you are. The moment you stop being their fixer is the moment you can finally start becoming yourself. And that is a transformation worth everything. That is the end of the delusion and the beginning of your authentic, powerful, and unbreakable life.